Grand Hotel is a CD we made last year in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with a guy called Bo Ramsey was the producer, and it's kind of a hodgepodge of different Americana type of things they might call it. I guess that's where it's been mostly widely distributed and received the most play in what they call the Americana radio and stuff. But it's I think it's a real nice ensemble record. There's a lot of great performances by some of the musicians that were here today, and then some other people that couldn't make it. And it's all original material, obviously, and sort of like all my records, there's a lot of kind of different narrators and narratives to follow throughout the record. It's funny. I mean, In the City, I guess it's our most widely heard song of past few years, which is great. And if there's a story about it, I mean, the honest story is that's one of the, when you write songs, there's some songs you labor at for a very long time, and you break apart and you do a piece here and a piece there, and then you get little ideas. That was a song where, in a crosstown walk from Manhattan, from Avenue A to the west side to, I guess, around 7th Avenue, where I caught the subway, I wrote the whole song. And it just was, we had rehearsal and it was canceled because of a double booking in the studio, and found myself walking around Manhattan on an extra balmy winter night. And, the city did most of the writing. It was I didn't have to do a lot. Right, what you expect from a Milton live show and what you get are two very different things. One time we opened for this group at the Irving Plaza, and the piano player was the first guy there, and he was wearing a blazer, and the other band walked in and they said, "Are you Milton, the comedian?" They just assumed that he and his blazer were pretty funny. He looked pretty funny. I mean, I look kind of funny in this blazer too. People generally look funny in blazers. That's why school, when you're a child and you have to sit there pay attention to all those school teachers with blazers, it's very difficult. But as far as our show, it really depends, because sometimes I'll get a gig where I'm opening for someone and it's a solo acoustic thing, or Sammy and I'll go and he's playing the upright and I'm playing the acoustic, or sometimes it'll be a 6-piece band, and we do a month at the Living Room every winter where it's like 7 pieces. We have the Hammond organ going with the piano, and I love that. So I sort of like to do it all, to sort of, I can do it all. I like to pare it down a lot and just let the song do the talking, but I also like to really, have an arrangement and have a band groove where we really get something going. But it's a lot of high energy in the shows. The records, you listen to the songs and it's about a mellow experience with a composition or something. But live, we like to step it up and put on a show and jam out and have fun. In 2010 we have a lot of the usual suspects, like Northeast gigs in the New England and up and down the East Coast and stuff, in our residency at the Living Room. And we'll be back out to Texas to South by Southwest, which we did last year, and it's a lot of fun, and looking forward to that. And there's going to be a lot more touring. We've just been back and forth about this trip to Eastern Europe, which is something that we hadn't really planned on doing. But once again, if there's a gig and they offer the currency to play, and hopefully it's a good currency rather than like Mad Magazine game money or something, then we'll go for sure. Even that, if you could get like a whole band fee paid and with Alfred E. Newman on the banknotes, I might do it. I might, just because someone was offering that, just the sheer audacity of the offer might make the gig worthwhile. So as usual, just wherever we can. A lot of festivals in the summertime. We get onto a lot of those kind of folk festival things. Where we play, might show up sort of in the configuration like we had today, where it's a string band. And so look out for us. We'll be playing all over the place. I just, almost every CD that I've put out has a song that's either in the style of New Orleans music, or about New Orleans, or about a New Orleans musician, or both. I spent a lot of time there over the past 10 years or so. And I really just love the musical heritage of New Orleans. Booker, the song which is on Grand Hotel, which was on NPR and all that kind of great stuff, is about James Booker, who was a real heavy, real serious New Orleans piano player, whose legend is pretty large amongst piano players and in New Orleans itself, but outside of New Orleans is not as well known as certainly I would like him to be. And so it's just about his life, But and Frank Campbell, the piano player on that recording plays a lot of stuff in that New Orleans style. And I just think New Orleans there's so much of all the music that we play, no matter what style you play, has its roots down there. And so it's an incredible, sort of living source of all this musical heritage for us. And so if you can get down there and get into it, I highly recommend it.